Hello friends, I welcome you all in this session. As you are aware that in previous session we discussed HR issues in project, and in this session we will continue the topic conflict management. So let us look at quickly what we did in previous session. Conflicts are quite natural, they will always be there in a project. The thing is you need to manage those conflicts, right? And as I said in previous session that conflict is a process, right? It is not a stage. Okay. So there are different views. You got traditional view according to which you should suppress conflicts in the organization, and conflicts are bad for the organization. Behavioral view, conflicts are quite natural, you need to manage conflicts. And interactionist view, that you encourage conflicts to develop in the organization, right? Because when you have got conflicts, people would be more creative, there would be clarity of roles and responsibilities, there would be clarity of policies of the organization, there would be policies, and there would be clarity on rules and regulations of the project and so on, right? So if you do not have conflicts, then it is a sign of stagnation or stagnation of the project, right? And project should not stagnate, right? It should always proceed. So let us look at what are different sources of conflicts. Again, can be external and can be internal, right? So you can have a situation like, let us say, organizational sources and interpersonal sources. So you can have a, let us say, reward system can be sometimes source of conflict, right? So let us say you are having a reward system, or let us say monetary reward system for the best project team member. Now there is a possibility that those who did not get that award, they may start complaining. They may always say that the person who got the first prize is not a deserving one, right? So sometimes due to reward systems there is a possibility of conflict in the organization, right? Or sometimes the way in which you evaluate performance of the employees may be the reason of conflict. For example, let us say if review system is, let us say 6 monthly, right? Then some team members may not be happy with 6 monthly review system, right? They might be looking for annual review system, right? So performance appraisal, how you are performing employees sometimes may be a reason for conflict, right? Scarce resources, most of the times the conflicts would be because of scarce resources, because you got multiple tasks to be done in a project, and at organization level you have got multiple projects, and each project or each project manager would like to have resources in time, and when he does not get resources in time, it would lead to a conflicting situation. So scarcity of resources, whether it is its budget or whether it is equipment or it is machine or it is, let us say, material, or it let us say the time required to have a meeting with the CEO of the organization, right? So these are couple of reasons for conflict. Uncertainty is another reason of conflict. In an organization, what happens, you have got line organization and staff organization, or line authority or staff authority. Line authority means those people who are directly responsible for completion of the activity, while staff authority are those people who support you in fulfilling the responsibilities of line authority. For example, my job is a job of line authority because I am delivering lecture, it is my responsibility. But let us say cameraman or let us say lightman or those supporting staff, they are just staff authority, right, they are helping me, right. So if there is uncertainty in this, then there would be lots of conflicts, right. So there should be certainty as far as roles and responsibilities are concerned. Then differentiation in mindset of the let us say project team leader, problems due to attitudes, time frame, value systems are different from department to department. These things we have discussed when we discussed types of organization structure, right. So this could be another reason of source of conflict. These are only few. I am not saying that only these are the reasons for conflict. There may be other reasons for conflict, right. And you can always have some interpersonal reasons, right. Faulty communication. Sometimes you say something to your colleague or your team member, but he understands something else, right. So faulty communication is one of the reasons. Then you have got personal grudges and prejudices. Of course these things will always be there, right. So try to have a healthy atmosphere in a team and healthy relationships with the stakeholders, right. Now how to resolve conflicts, very important, because you cannot have a situation where there is no conflict. Conflicts will always be there. You should try to minimize first of all, right. But you cannot have a situation where zero conflict, a zero conflict situation is there, right. So what to do? Now there are conflicts available, you need to resolve conflicts, right. So first thing is mediate. So so there are 2 points in this method, diffusion or confrontation, right. When you say diffusion, so the focus is less on source of conflict but is on mutual acceptable solution. So if there is a conflict between two team members, then try to go for mutual agreement between two persons, right. So the focus is not on what is the reason or what was the reason for conflict, right. So you are just trying to calm down the situation through mutual acceptable solution, right. Or you can have confrontation situation. Let both of them sit together, let them confront with each other and try to find out what was the root cause of the conflict, right. So which is better? Obviously the second method is better, right. Confrontation is better because you are looking at root cause and it would be effective in long run situation, right. So mediation is one of the methods of conflict resolution, right. So diffusion and confrontation. Let us look at arbitration. Now whenever there is conflict, it is the responsibility of project manager. Project manager imposes impersonal judgment on warring parties. So if there is a conflict between two members, it is project manager's responsibility to say that this fellow is right or this fellow is right, right. So there would be impersonal judgment on warring parties, right. So there are several arbitrations available. In fact, if you look at in our country, there are several arbitrations available. Income tax arbitration, you have got companies arbitrations, isn't it? So you have got, let us say, private fund arbitrations. So whenever there are grievances, whenever there are conflicts, you always go to different arbitrations, right. So, this is the second method of conflicting resolution. Control. Sometimes not taking a decision is also a decision. In other words, you should give them cool down period. If two members are fighting with each other, or if there are some conflicts between two members, then you just let it go for some time. It is possible that they themselves resolve those conflicts, and it works in several situations, right. But not a good method, right. The best method is to look at the root cause of the conflict and sort it out, right. Next we have accept it. So, many times even after trying hard to settle down the warring parties, you do not arrive at a conclusion, you do not resolve a conflict. So, what to do in situation like that? You can't do anything, right. You have tried your level best, but still nothing could be found, right. You couldn't do anything. So, what to do? Accept that there is a conflict and it will be there, right, even after project gets over, right. So, what to do? This is reality. Try to resolve it, but if not, then accept it that these two team members will always be in conflicting situations, they will always fight with each other. Accept it, right. Now you have got conflict resolution. Eliminate. Many times we try to eliminate conflict by transferring the guilty person, and as I said, as in one of the views of conflict, the interactionist view, conflict is often evidence of progress, right. But let us look at this point. If there are two warring parties, then try to transfer the guilty person to some other department, right. If not possible, then the final solution is you just fire him, right. But if you are in government project, then firing of an employee is also a difficult task, right. He may go to again court of law and so many things, right. So, elimination is also one of the methods of conflict resolution. Now, you can do a research, what are the reasons of conflict. So, there are two studies, first is by Tamahin and Wilmon, and the second study is by Posner. Now, they have done a study to find out the reasons for conflict, and they have come up with interesting findings. So, what they did, they did a survey on different project leaders, and they asked a question, they asked several questions about the reasons of conflicts. So, these were the questions: conflicts over project priorities. This is two, and they have, and after doing survey, they have ranked all these reasons, which is the and they have ranked all these reasons, and the most, and the first rank is given to this conflict over schedules. So, most of the conflicts will be related to project scheduling. It will, because projects most of the times get delayed. That is why this is the first rank by these two people as well as by this fellow. Both of them have given first rank to conflict over schedule is the reason for conflict. Then conflict our project priorities is the second most important reason for conflict by these two. But Posner, according to Posner, this is the third rank, right? According to this fellow, the second rank is conflict our cost and budget, and of course I think this is quite reasonable also, right? So as I said in the beginning, the performance of the project is measured through time, budget and schedule, right? So just see, all these three things are here is because of schedule or the time, because of cost and budget, second reason, right? So first and second ranks are to those three project performance criteria, right? Then you have got third reason is conflict our human resources. Third reason, non-availability of manpower, conflict amongst team members, conflicts amongst stakeholders, right? So third reason. Fourth reason is to conflict our technical opinions and performance trade-offs. Fifth is to conflict our administrative procedures. Sixth is to personality conflict. Seventh is to conflict our cost and budget. So according to these two researchers, this reason has got 7th rank, but in this study this particular reason got 2nd rank, right? So according to, so broadly we can come up with on a conclusion that these are the reasons, right? Conflict our schedule, conflict our cost and budget and conflict our project priorities, right? So if we choose out of all these 7 reasons, these 3 reasons are topping both the list, right? So this is a study done by these people. You can also do a study and you can contact different team managers, project leaders and find out what are the reasons for conflict, right? Now let us come to the next point, which is on negotiation. There should be negotiation when you have got conflicts, and the success depends on ability to manage people, issues that are central to life in project, right? So as I said, what are the reasons of successful completion of a project? It is the coordination and communication amongst stakeholders, right? Whether it is internal stakeholder or external stakeholder. So it is the responsibility of project manager or team leader to coordinate, communicate, cooperate with all the stakeholders, right? So negotiation is, in fact, stakeholder management is something which is broader concept, and negotiation is a part of it, right? So what is negotiation? Negotiation is a process that is predicated on manager's ability to use influence productivity. Now whenever there is a conflict between two members and you are going to negotiate, then you should be very careful about these 3 questions. You should ask these 3 questions to yourself. How much power I do have? Because you need to take a decision when you talk to warring parties or conflicting parties. What sort of time pressure are there? If there is too much pressure, then try to eliminate or try to remove conflict as early as possible. Do I trust my opponent? Yeah, this is important point. Let us say there is a conflict between you are the buyer and there is a supplier, right. So, and there is a conflict between buyer and supplier. So, if you are a buyer, there is a supplier and there is a conflict and you are going for negotiation, right. So, try to put yourself in his situation, then I think you would be able to negotiate in a better way. Similarly, he should also do the same thing, isn't it. So, do I trust my opponent, right. So, that was the third question. So, when you go for negotiation, just look at these questions, right. Principled negotiation is, of course, whenever you go for negotiation, it is always suggested to have a win-win situation for both the parties or all the parties, right. So, these are couple of principles of negotiation. Separate the people from the problem. This is very important. Separate the people from the problem. So, if there is a problem, then you should focus on problem, right. You should keep your ego, attitude, position, designation away from problem, right. If you mix these things with the problem, then you won't be able to negotiate successfully. So, separate these two things, right. Focus on interests, not on positions, right, because the interest of all the stakeholders is to complete project in time, right. So, focus on them. If you always show your bossism, then it won't work, right. So, keep positions away from negotiation process. Invent option for mutual gain. There is always possibility that you resolve a conflict with mutual gain. It should be win-win situation for all the parties, and for that you need to prepare yourself, and you need to have proper authority. You need to know what are the rules, regulations, what are the objectives, and so on, right. So, mutual gain should be the objective in a negotiation process. Insist on using objective criteria. So, rather than looking at problems subjectively, right. When I say subjectively means it should not be biased, right. It should not only on the basis of experience, right. It should be objective, right. It should be measurable, right. When I say objective, it means it should be measurable, right. It should not be based on individuals, right. So, insist on using objective criteria while you go for negotiation. So, let me summarize what we have done in this session. We have seen several sources of conflict. Sources could be organizational or interpersonal. We have seen different methods of resolution. We have seen mediation, we have seen arbitration. It is good to go mediation method by mediation method, and in mediation method also confrontation is the best method, because you are finding root cause. Then arbitration, control, give cool down period. It is possible that conflicts automatically get resolved, right. Accept that there is a conflict, eliminate the party, elimination is another method. So, transfer the guilty person to some other department. There are several sources of conflict. You can always do a research, what are the reasons of conflict, and in fact you can do also a research on what is the best method of managing conflicts, right. So, we have seen those 5 methods, right, elimination, cooling down, mediate, control, and so on, right. And these are couple of things which you should keep in mind while going for negotiation. And with this, let me complete this particular session. Thank you very much.